Have you ever looked at your body in the mirror and thought, am I aging well, or am I just getting older? Well, today I'm going to tell you a secret that doctors and researchers have been studying for years, and that almost no one pays attention to. There is a single physical sign that appears in only 5% of older adults, and these 5% have a much higher chance of living longer and with more autonomy. And no, it's not genetics, it's not luck, it's not because they ate flaxseed their whole lives. It's because their bodies still show a specific, visible trait that reveals their true health on the inside. A sign directly linked to life expectancy. And the most curious part, almost no one notices it, not even those who have it. Before we continue, drop a comment with your name and where you're watching from. If you're from Cleveland, Oklahoma City, Boise, or any small town in North Carolina, I want to know. Because today, this conversation is for those who still have life to live and want to live well. Now listen carefully. These 3 simple tests can predict with high confidence if you have a real chance of living with autonomy until you're 90, or if you need to change something urgently before time catches up with you. And the first one is a test that many people fail without even knowing. But before I explain what it is, let me tell you a story. Mr. Harold, 73 years old, lives in Springfield, Illinois. A veteran widower loves taking care of his garden and walking his dog. During a routine checkup, his geriatrician, Dr. Benson, asked an unusual question. Can you get up from a chair without using your hands? Harold tried. He was a bit unsure, but he managed. Dr. Benson wrote in his medical record, smiled, and said, if you keep being able to do this with ease over the next 10 years, your chances of making it to 90 with independence are much higher. The test is called sit to stand. In Portuguese, getting up from a chair without support. It's one of the most commonly used functional markers in longevity studies. A study conducted at the University of São Paulo, published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology, analyzed thousands of older adults. They found that those who could sit and get up from the floor or a chair without using their hands had up to 5 times more chance of living more than a decade with autonomy. And the reason is simple. This movement requires strength in the legs, coordination, balance, and activation of the core, all of which are deep signals that the body is still functioning as an integrated system. Now I ask you, can you get up from the chair, arms crossed, without any momentum in a stable way? If yes, congratulations. You are ahead of much of the population over 70. If not, that's not the end. It's a warning. The body is saying, we're losing power. But it's also saying, there's still time. Let's move on to the second test, but first think with me. How many people do you know who live sitting down? Who avoid effort? Who only get up by pushing with their arms or with help? The loss of autonomy starts there, and when no one notices, it settles in, and that's what happened with Mrs. Ellen, 78 years old, from Omaha, Nebraska. She lived alone but started noticing that the simple act of getting up from bed or a chair required more and more effort. One day, while trying to stand up quickly, she lost her balance and fell. She didn't fracture anything, but she lost confidence. And that's when the second test comes in, one that doctors call the standing balance test. And you're going to do it now, and if you want. Stand up, lift one foot off the ground, try to balance for 10 seconds without support, without swaying. If you need to hold on, that's okay, but pay attention. This simple test, done in less than 15 seconds, is one of the biggest predictors of mortality risk over the next 10 years. That's what a recent study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine showed. 702 people between 51 and 75 participated. Result: those who couldn't balance on one foot for 10 seconds had double the risk of dying from any cause. It's scary, but it's also liberating, because if you know this now, you can act. Balance is not just strength. It's a sign that your brain can still communicate with your body. It's a sign that your deep musculature, your nervous system, and even your vision are working together. And when this fails, it's the body shouting, "We're no longer protecting ourselves." Balance can be trained, but it only comes back if it's stimulated, if it's challenged with respect, if it's treated as the precious asset it is. In the next part, you'll discover the third simple test that doctors are using to predict who will and who won't live well after 80. And more than that, you'll find out how to turn these tests into a real plan to turn the game around. You've already seen that the first two tests, getting up from a chair without support and balancing on one foot, are not just simple gestures. They are like small mirrors. They show the true state of your body inside, even when everything seems fine on the outside. But now comes the third test, and this one is perhaps the most revealing of all, because it requires something many older adults lose without realizing it: core strength and cardiovascular control. This third test is called the Stair Climb Test, and here's how it works. You need to climb 10 to 12 stairs in a row, the equivalent of a flight of stairs, without stopping in the middle, without leaning on the rails, and without getting winded at the end. Sounds simple? Not so much. This test is so important that researchers from Harvard Medical School published a study showing that older adults who could climb a flight of stairs autonomously had a 37% lower risk of premature death. Why? Because climbing stairs requires a rare combination of factors: leg strength, cardiovascular capacity, dynamic balance, confidence in your own body. It's as if this test combines everything the other two measure, plus a real endurance challenge. Mr. Glenn, 80 years old, lives in Boulder, Colorado. During the pandemic, he went months without going out. Sedentary, insecure, he started to feel older than he was. One day, his 16-year-old grandson challenged him. "Grandpa, let's see if you can climb the porch stairs without stopping." Glenn tried. He climbed, with effort, but he did it. The boy filmed it, and in the video you could see each step was a silent victory. The next week, Glenn went to the doctor. The doctor heard this story and said, "This kind of movement is worth more than many numbers on paper." And it's true, because while tests show levels, measurements, isolated data, the body in action reveals true functional health. Now, think with me. How many people do you know who already avoid stairs, who sleep on the ground floor out of fear of climbing, who take the elevator even for a short flight of stairs? It doesn't start with a lack of will. It starts with the body asking for rest and the person thinking it's just age-related tiredness. But then, day after day, strength fades away. Breath disappears, fear sets in, and the stairs become a symbol of what can no longer be done. That's why American geriatricians and physiologists call the three tests together the functional longevity triad. They don't just tell you if you'll live longer. They tell you how you will live, with independence or dependence, with freedom or stuck inside the house, with the joy of going and coming or with the fear of trying. And here's The good news, these 3 tests are not just diagnostics, they are trainable. You can regain the strength to stand up without support. You can restore your balance. You can regain the breath to climb stairs, even if you're far from it today. Even if you've lost all of that, you can recover. Mrs. Judy, 76 years old, from Little Rock, Arkansas, couldn't climb 2 steps without stopping. She was afraid of falling, of feeling dizzy. Today, after 2 months of light training, she can climb 15 steps slowly, with a conscious pause and with a smile that shines brighter than the sun on the porch where she trains. She says, "It's not just the stairs that got easier. It was my mind that started believing again. Because when the body starts responding, the mind starts trusting. And when the mind trusts, the body delivers more." In the next part, you'll see how to turn these tests into a practical plan. With simple exercises you can start doing right now, at home, to turn the game of your longevity around. And you'll understand why the way you move today might be what will keep you alive, and free in the next 10, 20, or even 30 years. 3 simple tests: getting up from a chair without using your hands, standing on 1 foot for 10 seconds, and climbing a flight of stairs without stopping, can truly predict how long and with what quality you will live. But the most important thing is not just knowing, it's what you do with this information from now on. Because what these tests reveal is not your destiny, it's your direction. And any direction can be changed as long as you choose to turn the wheel. Let's turn this knowledge into action now. You don't have to wait until Monday. You don't need a gym. You just need one thing: decision. Here are the steps, straight to the point. Get up from the chair without support. Use a firm chair. Sit down with your arms crossed. Now stand up without using your hands, without excessive momentum. Did you manage? Do this 5 times in a row every day. Couldn't do it? That's okay. Try with a higher chair. Over time, the body will learn. Balance on 1 foot, stand near a wall. Lift 1 foot off the ground. Try to balance for 10 seconds. Repeat 3 times on each leg. Even if you start with 2 seconds, that's okay. What matters is to start. Climb stairs with autonomy. Choose a short flight. It could be from your house, from the sidewalk, or a public place. Climb slowly. Don't rush. Start with 5 steps, then 8, then 12. The body gains confidence by climbing, 1 step at a time. And now I want you to meet Mr. Raymond, 83 years old, from Jacksonville, Florida. He underwent heart surgery, and in the 3 months following, he stopped climbing stairs, going out and trying. The doctor recommended light activity, but Raymond responded, "If I can't even climb the steps in front of my house, how am I supposed to climb in life?" The next day, with his walker nearby, he faced the steps. 3 on the first day, then 4. Today, he climbs all 12 steps of the porch, every day, holding only the railing. And he says, "These steps remind me that I'm still here. You might think, but I'm weak. I'm off balance. I've hurt myself before. I know, but let me remind you of something. You don't need to climb fast. You don't need to do it perfectly. You don't need to do it like anyone else. You just need to start. With 1 foot, with 1 step, with 1 decision. Because every body, even weakened, responds when treated with respect and patience. And when it feels that you've started trusting it again, it returns the strength that seemed lost. Mrs. Helen, 79 years old, from Salt Lake City, was in a wheelchair after a femur fracture. They said she wouldn't walk again, But she had one goal: to climb the 3 steps of the porch where her husband used to play guitar. She started with short physical therapy sessions, then used the walker. A year later, without warning, she climbed the 3 steps, alone, crying. She said, "It wasn't just about the steps. It was about living again where I was happy." That's why I'm telling you now, these 3 tests aren't physical challenges. They're reminders that you still can. And if you're listening to me now, sitting down, feeling like time passed faster than you expected. If you think your body is no longer the same, let me tell you something from the bottom of my heart. The body does change, yes, but it doesn't give up on its own. It only stops when you stop showing it that it's still worth staying strong. Are you 65, 70, 80, or even older? Perfect. The best time to start over is now. It doesn't matter how long you've been inactive. Your body is still listening, and it's waiting for your signal. Now comment here, did you do all 3 tests? How was it to get up from the chair? How long did you manage to balance? How many steps could you climb? Let me know. Let's grow together. Let's turn your body into a bridge to longevity, not a prison. If this video spoke to you, share it with someone you love, someone who needs to know that there's still time, someone who might be waiting for the world to change, but who only needs to change 1 movement per day. Because living Tanakadi isn't about a miracle. It's about practice, about repetition, about willpower, and you have that. I know you do. Now all that's left is the first step, and it starts now.